Picture with me for a moment your real estate business where you no longer have to get bogged down by a bunch of administrative tasks and you can focus on exactly what matters, which is building client relationships, closing deals, and growing your business. If that sounds too good to be true, please make sure you stick around all the way till the end of this video, where I am going to show you exactly how we utilize virtual assistants in our business, how cost effective they are, and so much more in this video. And all the way at the end, I also do have a surprise for anybody that is thinking about adding virtual assistants to their business. You're not going to want to miss that. Just to give a little bit of background, I'm a real estate team leader out here in the state of Florida. We do anywhere from 40 to 50 million for the last couple of years, and we've been continually growing from there. And part of our model of growth is virtual assistants. We actually currently have 7 admin members of this team. 1 of them are in-house and the rest are virtual. And they're generally either in the Philippines or someplace down in South America. Now, each one of these do something very specialized and help grow the business in every single facet. But I can tell you this before we get into all of the other data and things that I want to talk about, they all pay for themselves 5 to 10 times over. So just to give a little bit more background on our team, I've got 2 video editors, 1 social media manager, 1 executive assistant, and 2 ISAs, as well as an in-house transaction coordinator. So those are the 7 admin we have on this team, which when a lot of people look at our team model, they think we're very admin heavy because we only actually have 5 agents. But those 5 agents are still producing $40 to $50 million a year, and that's with me completely out of production. So if that sounds like something you want to do, let's get into it. First off is the cost effectiveness of a virtual assistant. You compare a US-based employee, or wherever you're watching this at, an employee locally is what I should say, versus a virtual assistant, the numbers are staggering. So previously, when I was running this team and trying to build it up, we had 2 in-house local admin, and it completely wiped out the entire budget that we had for salary. We use the MREA model, so Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. If you guys have not read that, it's about a 22-year-old book right now, but it is still very, very effective in how you should be running the back end of your team. If you go to the budget model in that book, that is exactly how I run this operation here that I've got. So in order to get a lot of admin that are doing a bunch of different things, we need to make sure that we keep these salaries down. And that is the number 1 thing that a virtual assistant does over a local employee. And don't get me wrong, I love my local employees too. Like, this is no shot on them or anything, but when I can hire 5 virtual assistants for the price of 1 in-house admin, there's just a lot more that 5 people can do. I don't care how good that US-based employee is or that local employee, 5 people are generally going to beat that person when it is something that can just be done on the internet. Now, there are some in-person tasks or things that you might have a local employee doing that a virtual person cannot do, but you'd be surprised at what they can do even from afar. Most of my virtual employees are anywhere from $3 an hour all the way up to about $5 an hour. They can definitely scale higher than that depending on the skill level that you need and the tasks that they will be doing, but that is generally where my virtual assistants currently sit. So let's go ahead and compare the two. A US-based or local-based employee, depending on where you're at, is going to generally fall somewhere between $15 an hour and $25 an hour. Now, to put that in perspective, that is how much I pay most of my full-time employees for the month, not for the week. So that makes a US-based employee about 4 times, or a local employee, I should keep calling it that, 4 times as expensive as a virtual admin. And of course, with technology as it sits right now, there's not a whole lot that the local employee can do that the virtual admin cannot. And if you think that, oh, hey, maybe they can't do the things that I want them to do, you will be really, really surprised. So on a cost-effective basis, it is clearly better to do virtual admin. Now, again, I've got a hybrid model where I do a little bit of both, and I still suggest that to most team leaders that I am coaching, but obviously you can run this completely with virtual admin. In fact, one of my closest friends in the world is also in real estate. I helped him get into it. That's exactly how his model runs. He has absolutely 0 local employees, whereas all of his are virtual, and I believe he's sitting at 7 or 8 of them. So even though it seems like it's very heavy in admin, you can actually have each of the admin staff have a very direct benefit to your business that is more than just administrative tasks. For instance, our video editors, a person currently editing this video that you're watching right now, does a whole heck of a lot more than just editing the video. They're also putting these things on YouTube and increasing the income because of that. So here on our team, we have 4 YouTube channels, 3 of which are client-facing or consumer-facing. And then, of course, we've got the channel you're watching right now, which, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell so that you'll be notified every single time I do a new video. Shameless plug, but I felt like that was an appropriate time. And just for this facet that we're talking about right now, just with the video editors alone, the amount that they are costing versus the amount of value that gets brought in by their work and the amount of time it saves me from having to edit these videos or find somebody on Fiverr or just find somebody in general to do the editing and uploading and tag research and title research and all of that fun stuff that needs to be done on YouTube, well, the value is there tremendously. Our YouTube channels bring anywhere from $89,000 all the way up to about $210,000 in gross commission income, and that's just for the main channel that we have, the first channel that I started. So, as you can see, for the $10,000 some odd dollars, call it $11,000 per year that they do cost, they are bringing in a heck of a lot more value. Which segues perfectly into the next subject, which is increased productivity. So in this example that I'm using with the video editors, they are completely taking off that portion. So each video that I was editing previously when we first started our first channel, it was taking about 2 to 4 hours to edit a video and then do all of the research of the tags, the titles, the description, everything that I need to put in there, and then blast that out and syndicate it at the right time. So that's 2 to 4 hours now that I save per video, and you can do the math. If we have 4 videos doing 1 video per week, that is saving me 16 hours per week in just editing alone, and then of course the research for each of those videos. Which is exactly why we're able to have so many YouTube channels. That is just one facet of our business that we bring in leads for the team. But that's just one thing that will help increase productivity. There are a ridiculous amount of things that people can do with their virtual assistants, one of which is a transaction coordinator. For those that don't follow me on this channel or you're new to this channel, I am a very, very big believer in a transaction coordinator for every single agent. Every single full-time real estate agent should have a TC. I believe in that wholeheartedly. We got into this because we are very good at working with people and building relationships and maybe even marketing or some of those other things. But very few of us got into this because we were very good at paperwork and scheduling inspections and keeping deadlines in order. Now, some of us have that skill set, and I know a lot of phenomenal agents that are very, very good at that. But that's not where the money-making activities are. So why not hire a virtual assistant at $600 to $800 a month if you were doing 1 to 2 deals? If you were paying individually at $400 to $500 per transaction, you are already exceeding that. Now, yes, you will generally get somebody that already knows what they're doing with that when you're hiring a US-based transaction coordinator, let's say, but there's absolutely no reason not to slide that money over into a full-time employee. And if they're only doing 1 or 2 deals per month for you right now, that's great. If you're thinking, hey, there's going to be a lot of wasted time here, there's actually not, because you're going to be able to pivot them and use some of their other time for other things and to take more things off of your plate. Things such as email management. That's correct. You can have a virtual admin completely run your email for you. This way you don't have to worry about anything else. You can check it once per day. They are going to star the things that are very, very important to you. And then other than that, they are going to answer and respond as you. And yes, I know you're thinking, wait, you said they're in the Philippines or in Mexico somewhere, or down south. Like, is their English is good? Is there whatever? It doesn't matter anymore, guys. Like, especially with AI out right now, like, you don't really have to worry about that. And to be honest, even before AI, I didn't have to worry about that. Their English is out freaking standing. Every single one of the employees. In fact, one of the employees that we just recently hired, I actually had to ask him outright if he was actually in the Philippines, because I was a little bit worried. His English was almost perfect. There were very little mannerisms that were a little bit different, but other than that, it was outstanding. His writing skills are very good, and this is across the board. They're all very good. There'll be some mannerisms, some changes that are a little bit different that can be worked through very easily. So now that we've gone through the video editors and kind of what they take off our plate, let's go into some of the other admin that we have on the team that help increase my productivity or the team's productivity. So our social media manager, that's all she does all day is social media. She does some graphics and helps with open house graphics and landing pages and QR codes and basically anything that needs to be done in Canva. This isn't just extremely good for me to take off my plate. All of these great value adds that I give to you guys on this channel when I say, hey, down below in the description, we've got a link for you. In the first comment, we've got a link for you and it's completely free and it's this cool checklist or whatever. All of those are done by her. It takes a tremendous amount off of my plate and allows me to provide more value to you guys at no cost. There's nothing I'm charging for you guys. I don't do private coaching. I don't do anything. I'm not selling you guys anything. I'm just giving you guys the information that I have been given or learned over the years so that hopefully you guys can skip a few of those steps and increase your business quicker. But that's what our social media girl does. She helps communicate with our clients on social. She helps do all the posting, the videos, comes up with ideas, tells the agents what she needs, just all of that stuff. Everything social is done by her. Then we currently have 2 internal sales agents, and all they do all day is pound the phones. Just to give an example here, one of the value adds we give to our agents here is that we give them qualified appointments. A lot of teams give leads, and then you have to train the agent how to do it and cold call and nurture and and a lot of agents don't want it now. That is one thing I learned as a team leader, is that the agents want something that are 3 months or less. If you give them something further out than that, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to train them. So why train a whole bunch of agents in that revolving door of agents that might come in and out of your team, where you can now do it where you just hire these internal sales agents and train them, and you've got a very dedicated platform for them. So our ISAs go from start all the way to finish until they are ready for an appointment with an agent to go see homes or go to a listing appointment. So that means as soon as the lead comes in, all the way until that nurtured lead is ready. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4 year process sometimes, and sometimes it's immediate, but this also allows me to hit speed to lead instantly. So now me and my agents no longer have to be waiting by the phone to pick it up at any given second every time a lead comes in, because speed to lead is one of the most important things when it comes to online leads, and actually most leads in general. And then the executive admins we have for some of our pod leaders here on this team. So we have 2 pod leaders right now, so they basically help some of the agents underneath them. One of the value adds we give them is a executive admin, and this does whatever they need them to do. These are the jack of all trades, right? Those solo agents out there that are watching these videos, this is where a lot of people should start, is with an executive admin or a TC. Those are the first 2. I prefer a TC first because you can kind of do TC as the main and then have them do the additional duties as you're getting more busy. And then once their capacity is tapped out, you now put them either in full-time TC mode or full-time executive admin mode, and then hire the other position that you don't currently have because that person swapped jobs. But the executive admin will really do anything that they need. Helps with social media, helps turn leads, helps with their database, helps make sure data entry is done, maybe monitors emails. There are a ton of different things. In fact, I will put something down below from my favorite virtual assistant company, Sphere Rocket, that helps me out with a bunch of mine. I'm going to put some information down below of the top 50 tasks that a virtual assistant does. That is the first little surprise I've got for you guys, but make sure you stick to the end because I've got an even better one later. So as you can see, they're trying to take some of the additional fluff off of your business so that you can be more productive. The entire goal is for us to be in our highest and best use. So whatever those money-making activities are that we are excellent at, and also give us some sort of passion. So for a lot of us, it is building client relationships, nurturing people, closing deals, doing the negotiations, and ultimately growing the business. That's exactly what the VAs are here to help you with. So next is scalability and flexibility. So the virtual admin that you will generally hire are very flexible and can help you scale your business. And one of the cool things is as your business scales up, you can continue to add on or add more tasks. And of course, they're very flexible. So if for any reason they're on some tasks that are either no longer needed or you found out that they're not hyper productive and not getting to the goal that you need, you can always pivot them just like any other employee. It's not like you're hiring them for a superset set of tasks and they're going to look at you and go, well, no, that's not in my job description to do so, and so, you know, as long as it's ethical and stuff like that. They can pivot very quickly. I have had the first virtual assistant that was on my team, love her to death. She has done multiple jobs inside of my organization. So she originally started helping out with the internal sales agent role, kind of helping turn leads. Then she did social media for a while, and then she became a full-time video editor. And now she does such a great job for us. She is on her own time. She doesn't even work when I work. I just sort of let her do her own thing, and she's got certain KPIs that she hits, And that's all that she really needs to do. But what's really cool about this is because they are so flexible and they're always learning and trying to get better, they are actually helping our business as they continue to grow. They're growing within the organization as well. So the next big topic I've already touched on pretty well, and that is specialized skills. You can get virtual admin to do very specialized skills. Let me give you one example that I think would be an outstanding thing to add as an ancillary business. We know that they're approximately $10,000 to $12,000 per year, let's call it. So in your market, how much do they need to bring in order to pay for themselves 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times over? That's exactly how you should be thinking about the virtual admin in general. So when it comes to specialized skills, you can get one that just does one thing and does it extremely well and gets better and better and better and better over time at it, to where they're smoking the competition of the other agents who have 80 jobs to do, where they only have one inside of your business. Part of these examples are exactly what you see on my team: video editors, internal sales agents, social media, executive admin, what have you. But you can also do something like, let's say, a referral agent. This is just one example out of many. So they scour Facebook, let's say, all of these groups, and they look in every one of these groups every day, all of these mastermind groups and real estate groups, and they look in referral groups, and they look for all of the referrals. For those of you at a brokerage that have these channels already, what's to stop you from jumping in there and making sure that every single time somebody says your city, Destin, Florida, you're jumping in there, right? Or wherever your city is, that's just where we're located. And you're jumping in there and you're going, hey, we can definitely help you. We provide a 30% referral, just sent you a message, just sent you a private message, and you're not even there, because speed to lead is just as important when it comes to referrals as it is with online leads. And you can actually dominate that. There is a girl in this same group that I'm in here at Sphere Rocket that's one of the biggest things that they do, and she does it at an outstanding level, to where 2 years ago, I have not checked in with her last year or this year to see how they're doing, but I know 2 years ago I was in one of her classes and she said something like 80 deals every single year are coming directly from this person. Yes, they're paying a referral fee, but think about what 80 extra deals do for you and your business. So the next thing is leveraging technology in your business. A lot of us are not really good with technology. So why not hire a virtual assistant that already has skill set in that? Here's what's the really cool thing is, a lot of the people we hire are very, very skilled at what they do. And in fact, they have a lot of experience in it. The caliber of skill set that you're getting can be very, very high for an inexpensive cost in our money. But for them, they're still making decent money. For instance, the video editor that edits this channel right now used to work for Cosmopolitan in the Philippines and do a bunch of their videos. And when we're doing the interview process, I'm watching some of these videos and they're outstanding. And this is production at a very high level. This is the kind of skill set that you're getting with these. So let them leverage their technology, the things that they learned in other positions, to help you in yours, whether it's just managing your CRM or helping run your database or what have you, or implementing a bunch of AI tools to automate the processes for a bunch of stuff. These are all things that can be done with virtual admin. And when done properly, they can actually take a lot of these little $10, $100 a month, $15, $150 a month expenses completely off. Let's just say your bookkeeper in general. A lot of people that pay for a bookkeeper, especially teams that they need to run their entire thing, they're paying $300, $400, $500, $800 a month, $1,000 a month just for somebody to give them a monthly P&L. This is a side job that could be done with somebody for just 1 to 2 hours per week. This could be a side job for one of your admin that only costs them about an hour a day. And in that, you get 7 more hours throughout the day to utilize them for other things, and you save a ton of money in the process. Probably the biggest thing that a virtual assistant will help with is helping you focus on core competencies. I talked about this a little bit earlier, kind of alluded to it, but I'm very fortunate to be in some very big masterminds with other team leaders that are doing production like I am, and even some that are doing above that. In fact, I was just at one last week where the average income in the room was $750,000, and there were multiple people making over $2 and $3 million as team leaders. Now, none of that really matters for this video, but the main thing that I'm trying to hit on is the entire conference, the entire thing, everything that we're talking about is all trying to get us to focus on core competencies, things that we are excellent in that also give us passion. How do we take things off of our plates in order to do the things that are most effective for our business in that moment? So about once every 3 months, this is exactly what I do. For an entire week, I write down everything that I do, everything, every email, it's not like super detailed, like send an email to John, but I put send an email to a client, send an email to a vendor, send an email to whatever, and I write down all of these things. things. And at the end of the week, what I do is I go through that list and I rank them in 4 different categories. I'm not going to bore you with this. I believe it's called like the Eisenhower matrix or something like this. But the point is I go through this entire thing and I figure out the things that I'm incompetent at or competent at, and I can do it just fine, but anybody could do it. And I delegate those out. And basically what I'm trying to get into is as many of the things in my day-to-day that I have passion for and that I am very, very good at, those are the things that I try to do. This is exactly an exercise that you could do to figure out what tasks your VA should do. Because as soon as you get out of all of this clutter and crap, the things that you think you're okay at or that could easily be done by somebody else, the faster your business will grow, I guarantee it. So what I would suggest for most solo agents or people just starting out their team growth journey, I guess, is focus on income producing activities. What produces income? And then what activities produce income that maybe you're not as good at that you could put somebody else in play at. Let's say, for example, you dislike cold calling, but it is a portion of your business. You know how to do it, but it doesn't give you passion. You don't get excited when you jump on the phones for those 3 hours every single day. Why not delegate that task out? If you know, hey, I do this for an hour every single day, and it produces 6 deals a year for me. That's it, right? Okay, cool. Well, let's take that hour and let's put that into something more effective and put a virtual admin in charge of that. You do need to have a little bit of skill set to train them on this, or you're going to have to hire somebody that's already got that skill set. But this way it completely takes it off of your plate. What can you be doing in that hour that is much more effective than jumping on the phones to create 6 deals a year? Maybe that person can create 6 deals a year for you. Maybe it's 12, maybe it's 30. But the point is, if you can take that off but still have that as an income source, well, now it opens you up to another hour of what you are good at. Let's say you're outstanding at open houses or client events or just going one-on-one social hacking with people, going out and meeting other people for coffee, going to parties, going to whatever it is to meet more people. Take that same hour that you would generally cold call and prep to find more meetings or more things for you to do or prep for an open house, etc., whatever your skill set is. Bottom line here is, how do we get you out of the crap that you're doing right now and into the stuff that makes money for you and that you enjoy doing? And one thing that a lot of people don't talk about with virtual admin is work-life balance. When you get to a certain point in your career, you're going to want to start buying back some of your time. That is one of the best things that a virtual admin can do. So I used to work 7 days a week trying to build this team. It's very hard because I am the bottleneck. Everything gets kind of stopped up on me, right? So I need to push that bottleneck out. And then it got to a point where, hey, I needed a little bit of work-life balance. I need to have some of those days off that I keep hearing about. I spent years without a day off unless I was going on a vacation or maybe going on a trip somewhere, and those were few and far between. But having the virtual admin in place now allows me to do that. If I take a day off or I get sick and I'm not able to do anything, which did just happen recently, I got sick for a couple of days a few weeks ago, and everything ran very smoothly even without me because everybody knew what they needed to do because I put enough buffer in and around me. So if you're looking to buy back some of your time, this is also a great way to do it. You can have them take some tasks off your plate and move to a 4-hour workday if you wanted to. I actually know multiple agents that do that. In fact, I know of 2 agents personally who aren't even in the same city that they work in because they've got virtual admin handling so much of their space and they do everything through Zoom. And that's more of a technology thing than it is a work-life balance thing. But on the same note, it is kind of work-life balance because one of them lives in Cabo full-time. She sells about 40 homes a year and she doesn't even step in her hometown anymore. This now allows us so much more opportunity because we can add in all of this without having a local employee going, where's my boss at? My boss is in Cabo, or whatever. You can actually have that and buffer your entire system around that and build into that. Now, this isn't a video where I'm going to tell you how to work remotely, although I can do that and I might do that in the future. Put that in the comment section down below if you think that's a topic I should cover, but you can absolutely pull that off with virtual admin fairly easily. Now, let's talk about some of the long-term benefits of a virtual assistant into your business. Listen, if you've got a local employee and you're paying them $20 an hour, $3,200 a month or more, that's not even including benefits and everything else that you might have to provide, a lot of your resources are taken away for that person. So if you can do that same thing and have 4 virtual admin doing 4 different jobs, it gives you a lot more flexibility long term. And it also helps you adjust with the market. Let's say that you've overextended because COVID just happened and everybody was just going nuts. So you hired 2 extra local employees and everything's going good until that market stopped, as it did last year in 2023. It didn't really stop, but it definitely slowed down. So when that happened, a lot of the people that I knew that had local employees for their business were massively hurt by it and even had to lay off some of their people or fire some of their people because they couldn't afford to keep them anymore. Now you can run into the same problem with virtual admin, but it's a lot easier to get around that because, well, if they're bringing in more than they are costing you every single month, then there's no need to get rid of them. If you know that, hey, I'm gonna put $800 a month into this employee, but they are consistently getting me one deal every single month, and that deal is worth $10,000. Well, that person is worth over 10x what you're paying them. You're not going to get rid of them, even if the market turns. You'll find some other ways, or what have you, or your business just won't slow down. That's what happened with us. Our business did not slow down that much from COVID. Whereas I'm watching other people get out of the industry left and right, we weren't that affected, and that's because we were buffered and we had cheaper cost for salary, so we had so much more leverage happening. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about leverage. There's an old saying that says, you give me a lever long enough and I can move the entire world. That is 100% true. The more leverage you have, the better. So as you're growing and scaling and trying to build your business, if you're competing against somebody like me or somebody that has 30 VAs or something like that, it's going to be a lot harder for you to compete. You could be the most skilled person in the world. Let's say you're a cold caller, right? And you hammer the phone 3 hours a day and then you've got to go on appointments for the rest. If I have 3 people hammering the phones 8 hours a day in the same market, even if they're not as skilled as you, I will eventually outscale you. There's just no way that you can compete. That's exactly what we're talking about here with leverage. Now, I'm not saying go out and hire a bunch of cold callers and demolish your market with that, but that is definitely a strategy that you can use. In fact, talking on cold callers, I don't know why this just popped in my head, but I paid for a company way back when in New York or New Jersey or something like that, and they guaranteed 3 cold callers for 3 hours each per day, and it was a tremendous cost. I'm talking like $6K a month or something like that. And then they got bonused based on how many appointments that they did, and they didn't do a super good job, first of all, and I had no control over that, and that's a really, really, really big problem. Part of the reason why I actually started going away from using companies like this completely and building it all in-house. So they were booking some appointments, and that's fine, but the appointments were bogus, and I couldn't do anything about it because they weren't my employees. And on top of that, they were costing a ton of money, whereas I could have hired 8 people to do the same job and I would have gotten 8 hours a day each instead of 3 hours a day each. You can run the math, and that is a tremendously better deal for us. And I know, as a lot of people say, well, they're English and da-da-da-da. I'm telling you, you guys will be really, really, really surprised. A lot of the people have no idea that my employees are not in this state. Okay, I said that there was going to be a big surprise for you guys at the end. If you go down into the description down below, and hopefully we'll be able to put it in the first comment as well, I'm going to have a link for you guys to go to Sphere Rocket and listen in and kind of learn about Sphere Rocket and how they do it. This is not a company like, I'm not calling out anybody bad, but My Virtual Outdesk or My Virtual Desk or MyRealEstateVA.com, I'm sure is probably one. I just made that one up. I don't know if it's real, but my point is, what a lot of these companies do is this. They give you a virtual employee, you tell them what you need, and they say, okay, cool, 4 hours a day will be $1,200 a month, and 8 hours a day will be $2,000 a month. And what they're going to do is they're going to pay that VA $200 to $400, depending on which plan you chose, and they're going to pocket the rest. That's not what this company does. This company is more of a headhunting service for you. So last time I checked, and so forgive me if any of this has changed over time, keep in mind this is a YouTube video where it might outlive some of the deals and stuff that they've got, is that you can either pay per employee as a headhunting service, and then they hand it to you. There's no additional cost. They're not taking anything extra. They're not asking anything more. So if you negotiate at $4 an hour, you're paying $160 per week. If you negotiate to $5 an hour, it's $200 a week, and you're not paying anything extra. This company is not doing that. That's not what they do, like those other companies that you see. So you're paying that person directly. They are your employee. You can pivot them as needed. You can change their work schedule as needed. You can change their job duties as needed, instead of going to that company and saying, hey, this person isn't doing what I need to do, and you're hoping that they give you somebody else and don't charge you an arm and a leg for it. For those of you that need more than than one VA, or you are thinking, hey, if this is working really well, I'm going to keep doing this. They also have subscription services. So that's one of the things that I am currently in. I am in their one of their subscription services where I get as many virtual assistants as I want, as many as I want all the time. Like right now, if I want to hire people, I just go on there, I sent them an email, and in about a week, I'm going to have 10 to 20 applicants that I can interview that are very skilled and already have experience in that realm if I want them to, or I can pay for somebody that has no experience that is looking to build up their business. And those are going to be a little bit less expensive usually, whereas the experienced people are going to be more expensive. I have interviewed people that have ran 250 to 400 employees on their own. Like we're talking almost CEO level, or at least CEO for their section at 10 to 15 bucks an hour. Like that's the quality that you're getting. Whereas, if you're getting somebody very dedicated, a video editor, a cold caller, a, social media person, $4 to $6 an hour all day. And again, nothing extra on top of that. And on top, they provide a ton of training and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to tell you all about it. You can click the link down below and go learn until your heart's content. And if it sounds good, it is an affiliate link. So please keep that in mind. I do get something from it. I don't remember fully what it is. But if it does sound good to you, definitely click that link, consider it, and at least talk to them because it's outstanding. And they normally, I do not know, again, remember this video might outlive, the deals that they're doing, but they have been doing a free VA where you still have to pay the VA, but you don't have to pay it anything until after like 2 weeks or a month or something like that. And then if you still like your virtual admin after that and you're starting to see the value, then you pay the headhunting fee. And if not, you hand that employee right back. No harm, no foul. So if you guys are interested in any of that, it is down below. Or of course, you can reach me. All of my contact information is right here somewhere on the screen. You can always call my office, call me, text me, find me on social media. I'm at Mr. Mongo everywhere. Mr. is spelled out. And you can always hit me up and go, hey, I saw this video on your VAs. I had a quick question, whatever. I love to answer that kind of stuff. Or you can put it in a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys next week. See ya.